to this week's episode of Diesel and the Beard.
All right, welcome. Diesel and the Beard are having a special episode today, doing our introduction and analysis of the upcoming 2020 COVID special of the Twisted Tees, Torqued Tees, or how most people call it affectionately, the Tee. So, yeah, welcome the Beard. AJ
Welcome.
is going to be my co-host on this ride. I've kind of taken the tournament on my own wings for a few years now, and it's actually good to have someone to bounce ideas off of and split workload with, so that's good. Basically, what we're going to do today is reveal the course we're playing at, give you a brief description on it, also talk about the guys that will be in the tournament, the top players, the bottom players, strengths and weaknesses of them, some of the rules, and what to expect, and some housekeeping stuff like rides and etc. So, where do we want to start off, AJ?
Well, I think, and thank you, Dorian. I'm happy to be able to help you and make sure that this thing goes off without a hitch. You've always done great work, but I think, like you said, everyone can always use a helping hand, and I'm more than willing to jump in.
Well, the busier we get in life, it's nice to have that extra set of hands.
Absolutely.
So
I think so. To start your question, I think to start, we should get into some. I mean, the boys are chomping at the bit. So I'll let you break in the course.
Yeah, sure. So, funnily enough, I actually have never played this course. I was looking around to courses we haven't played in the Torqued Tees yet. And this seemed to be a good one. It's challenging, and from what I hear, it's a beautiful course. So this year for 2020, we will be playing the Torqued Tees annual tournament at the Trillium Woods Golf Club. Hey, okay, great. Yeah, very beautiful club. Plays decently long, up to 6,700 yards. So I got a brief description right from the website here in case those don't know it. It's in Belleville. So rides are going to be needed to be arranged ahead of time. I know Dylan's got a van now, so he's good for 5. And so if someone else can let me know if they're good to drive. I think Brad has access to a van. He might be good for some rides too. So we could talk about that after. So Trillium is about an hour from Kingston. Our tee-off times are at 10:24 to start. And
we're rolling? We're not doing shotgun, are we, or are we?
No, we're just going tee time. Yeah, so it's rolling because there's only...
Oh, the anticipation.
Yeah, no shotgun, so it's going to be rolling right through. You'll be able to see the guys ahead of you, the guys behind you. I'm going to be at the course for probably, I'm going to say somewhere between 9 and 9:30 a.m. I want to get things set out.
So, so let's just to interject.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dorian.
Yeah, no.
I think it's important that we have enough time to determine. So today we're going to talk about how we've broken up the groups, but just to touch on when we arrive, I guess I'll let you introduce the new method we're going to determine the captains, the order of the captains. Sorry.
Sure. Yeah. So this year it's been putt off in the past, and we're going to change that to a chip off this year.
Nice.
So it's going to be we're going to set up. Yeah, a closest to chip off. The closest to will get the first pick overall from the draft class. Second closest will get the second pick, third, and so on, right down through 7. So that's going to be a change this year.
How much time do you think we'll need for that?
So I'm going to be at the golf course for, I'm going to say 9:15. Between 9 and 9:15. If everyone could be there with carts loaded, ready to go at 10 a.m., that will give us enough time to do the chip off, find the order of things, get organized, and go. So
we'll have that done in 15 minutes kind of thing, 15, 20 minutes, and then.
Yeah. I would say leave Kingston by 9 a.m. On your, like, that's, you got your breakfast in you, you got your gas in you, and you've got your clubs loaded up, ready to go. Get to the course, get a cart, load it up. do your pregame ritual, chip, putt, whatever, and then probably around 10 a.m. we're going to go, or maybe even earlier, probably quarter to 10, we'll go right into a chip off. From there, the captains we picked, and then by 10:15, we should all be kind of getting ready to head to the tee blocks to start.
Okay.
So Trillium Woods Golf Course is characterized by mature trees, large greens, elevated tees, rolling bentgrass fairways, picturesque ponds, and strategically placed bunkers. This magnificently scenic 18-hole gives one the sense that it's been part of the landscape for many years. The par 72 course plays between 4,900 and 6,700 yards. We're going to be playing whites at 5,630 yards from tee decks on over 200 acres of indulging wooded and scenic heartland. The course is supported by one of the region's premier driving ranges and separate teaching practice areas. So if you want to get there early and hit some balls at the range, apparently it's beautiful. It also says, perhaps the most noteworthy is the sense that virtually every hole is its own separate entity. For most of the holes, foursomes will be alone, surrounded by awesome stands and fairways of trees. So, it sounds private. It sounds good. It sounds like the boys can hoot and holler. And, yeah.
Beautiful. So I'm stoked, man. I've never played Trillium. I don't know how many of the boys have. I've heard the mixed reviews on how difficult it is, but I think it's definitely going to present a unique experience in that most of us don't have it as our home track or an experienced track.
Right.
We've played Glen Lawrence, we played Camden, we played Briar Fox. These are courses that most of us have played most of our lives, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think having it start out at a course like this is a great way to celebrate our sixth year.
Well, one of the things that brought me to Trillium was that some of my research basically said that it takes it doesn't take the long ball hitters out of play, but it equalizes them a little bit. And in our group, particularly with the 14 golfers, the top golfers are guys that can hit a ball long and straight because they're getting there closer. They're getting the greens in 2 shots where someone else is taking 3 or 4 to get there. So what this helps do is neutralize kind of the middle of the pack. There's some long ball hitters. They're still going to be effective, but it's also going to be about placing your next shot and playing for your second shot, which I think adds a nice little bit of challenge to the tournament. Because a guy like you, who's, self-admittedly not the longest hitter, but you're ultra consistent up the gut, that brings you to more of a competitive playing field with, say, like a Graham or a Dylan or, even Jake. With the long balls. So I think it's going to be a good little mix of a mixed bag. And I also noticed they have 5 par 5s and 5 par 3s. So that's a really good man. Then the rest are 4s, obviously. But that's a heavy amount of, swing, 5 short ones, 5 long ones, and then, obviously 8 4s. So that's kind of a good mix. It's a good mixed bag of what we're getting into. So I guess the next thing we need to talk about is I'll confirm time. So September 12th, want to be everyone at the course ready to go.
Let's say 9:45.
9:45. I was going to say 10 a.m., but there's always a couple stragglers rolling early. I just want to, we're adults. We can get up early.
Gas tanks the night before, boys. Like, don't wait to hit the petrol in the morning of. I've done it. And then you get some goof that, honestly is going to pay with pennies and you're stuck behind him and,
he's digging in his sock.
You gotta run back to the car and.
Yeah. Fuck that. The change hitting the gas counter like an explosion of dimes, like there was a fucking grenade taped to it. No. Get there at 9:45. Let's be on this because one of the things, I don't want anyone having excuses this year. Like, I just woke up. I was hangover. My dick's
I've been there.
Fuck up. Oh, yeah. I mean, one of my things is I'm always rushing around trying to handle the tournament shit. What team am I with? What time are we putting up? Blah, blah, blah. And I can't focus on my game at all. Always takes me 3 holes to get into it. So just be there early. Let's get this done. Now, players.
Yeah, this is where I'll kick in a little more of my voice. Yeah. So we've got 14 dedicated competitors, but what we've really, what we try to do for the integrity of the game here and to keep it on the fun side is it's a 2-man scramble. Dorian's going to review some of the rules that we've developed over time. A lot of them you already know. But I think to just get you guys really amped up, what I'll do is I'll read out. Well, Dorian, why don't I let you read out the top because I actually agree with your rankings more. The captains,
Yeah.
and then I'll read out the bottom guys because I think we're pretty close on that.
Well, how about I read all of the players, so
Yes.
everyone that's going to be involved,
Okay.
and then we can talk about how they're divided and the
Sure.
top and the bottom, and then we can speak a little bit on why.
Sure.
So this year is 14 runners. So 7 and 7 is going to be the teams. And we have a lot of returning guys, and I think we got a couple new faces. So right from the list, we have Dylan Van Vleck, Jake Chalmers, who were actually coincidentally champions for, I think, 4 years in a row. Or was it 5? 4. 4 for sure. And then we have Graham Brown, his two brothers, Luke Brown and Ev Brown, both beauties. Then we have two more brothers in Brad Dio and Jay Dio, or Diodato. We have Jared Mahoney as a late entrant, but also a returning competitor. Mossy, or Scott Mossman. Kyle Silva, Dougie, or Jeff Lattimore. Self, AJ, and AJ's brother Cody Wilson. So that rounds out the 14 competitors. With pretty much everyone on this list, all great guys, all good
Mike.
golfers. So yeah, now that we know them, do you want me to do the top?
Yeah, I feel like I have just changed my rankings to match yours. Dorian and I were really close, obviously, but I think that his reflect exactly, so Dorian, you do the top, I'll do the bottom, and then I've got some discussion on that. So
sure. Okay, so here's how I had the top laid out. So I'll read the names and I'll tell you the order. I have Dylan Van Vleck as a captain, Jake Chalmers as a captain, Graham Brown as a captain, Luke Brown as a captain, Ev Brown as a captain, Brad Diodato as a captain, and Jared Mahoney as a captain. So the three Brown brothers really just fill in that middle of the. But we kind of took guys we've played with and what we know, and then we took just raw data from their last 4 rounds. So I have my list ranked as this. I have Dylan as the top golfer in the top. I just played a lot with him. His game's just been getting better and better every time he plays. Long ball hitter, just super consistent all around. I have 2, Jared Mahoney. We were talking Jared being in the bottom because he was saying he's not that good. He hasn't played lately, hasn't picked up a club in forever, blah, blah, blah. And then we just took his last 4 rounds. And I know that Jared, it was a very good junior golfer. And I've heard that he shot into the 70s at one point in his life, which I don't know if many guys on this list have. I mean, certainly no one in the bottom. I don't think anyone in the top. So a guy that has shot in the 70s in his life is obviously should be up there. So I had him as 2 on my list. Then I have 3 with Luke. Luke Brown, I haven't golfed a lot with Luke, but Graham had him listed as probably the best of the 3 brothers, or at least close with Evan.
close.
Luke is an NCAA athlete, or as they say in the U.S., an NC2A athlete. The guy peels his shirt off, and he looks like a fucking Under Armour mannequin. So
and looks like the Hulk.
I'm going to say he could probably crush a fucking ball into orbit, and he's probably just a good overall athlete. And there's one thing, golf, natural athletes translate well. Dylan's a decent athlete. Graham's a good athlete. Luke, Ev, all these guys are good athletes. Luke at 3, Ev at 4, because he was, Graham said he was behind Luke. So 3, 4. 5, I have Graham. So the Brown brothers just kind of right in the middle of the pack. 6, I had Jake, and Jake's at 6 for basically because he was inconsistent this year. I think he's starting to heat up now, and his game is where he wants it. He's made some club changes. And then 7, I had Brad Dio, only because he's been fucking with me in the group chat, and he was telling me he was shooting in the hundreds, and I didn't really know. And we actually had him in the bottom for a while, and then I get this side message that he's not shooting that bad. So then he jumped from the bottom into the captaincy. So I just threw a 7 on him just because. So.
Yeah, so I'm right there with you. So yeah, guys, we Dorian and I had a late night meeting, and we determined that based on the data that I collected yesterday that Jared's obviously he was in the bottom initially with Brad. So we've definitely realigned this. So let me get to the bottom. So I think that this is the most important. We've got the competitors listed in the bottom here, the bottom 7, and these are the guys that you're going to be drafting. So let's just say Dylan does well and he's picking first, well, I mean, we all know there's some guys that are probably, going to rise to the top of that bottom pile, but for the rest of you, I think it's going to be difficult. So I'll just kick it off. So this is how I had it ranked. Mossy, I got you at 8. Silva, I've got you at 9. And then we go to Douglas at 10. And I'll fall back to that on why I did that. I've got Jay Diodato at 11. That might just be because I haven't golfed with you in a while. But I remember back to Briar Fox, Jay won the putt off, and he picked me first overall. And if it wasn't for me being my first year of golf in a couple of decades, we may have had a shot. So I know that Jay's capable of carrying a team on his own from time to time. So I have him at 11. Dorian and I've got tied for 12th. I think most people, might have thought that I'd be lower, but you and I have had some really good tight rounds this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then who am I missing? I'm my brother.
Cody? Yeah,
Cody. So to be fair, and this is, obviously I'm biased. He's my brother, but last year him and Graham took Rosie and I to extra holes at Loyalist.
Yeah. No, that's, Cody, that's the thing. Like the bottom players in this thing are guys that you could make some shots and really kind of give a team a shot to win. So my bottom list is similar to yours. I had Dougie at 1, Silva at 2, Mossy at 3. Mossy tied at 3 with me, you, and Mossy.
Okay.
So, and then I had Jay at 6 and Cody at 7. And, Jay's at 6 because he said he hasn't been golfing a lot at all. And, golf's one of those games. You got to move dirt. You got to be out there hitting balls to feel comfortable. Just your swing's got to feel just natural, not forced or anything. So, and Cody, same thing. He's consistent. He has a little trouble getting the ball up sometimes, but I just don't think he's been playing a lot this year. So I got him at the bottom of my list. So we are kind of running. I want to keep this short because we have the big podcast to do tonight, and I got to edit this. So all those guys are, good. You can ask us questions if you need more information on guys. Dylan's got a long ball. Let me run through I'll just do this quick. This is what I had for strengths and weaknesses.
Yep.
Dylan, strong long ball off the deck, great second shot. So he's really long off the tee. The weakness might be putter. For Jake, I had consistency off the block. With his 4 is his strength. He switched from a driver. He's hitting his 4 a lot off the block. Jake's weaknesses is going to be his mental game. If he has a couple bad shots, he can fall apart. Yep. Graham, long ball hitter, good all-around shot maker from pretty much anywhere.
Mentally insanely tough.
Very good. Yeah, I've been meaning to tell you, you can't phase the guy. You can't phase him.
Not phase him either.
If I remember correctly, his weakness was approach wedges. I remember he struggled with those the one year we played together. Luke Brown, the positive, he's just a natural athlete. I think the guy's going to be good no matter what. And I don't know a weakness because I haven't played a lot with Luke. I don't even know if ever, but maybe once. I played with Ev once. I remember he was super consistent.
He's like Graham Light. I've played with both of them together. And Ev, we played at Amherst 2 or 3 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago. And he took a bit to warm up, but then he was lights out.
Slow starter, maybe?
Yeah. So that was
also, he could have been pounding beers. Maybe beers make him better. Maybe they make him worse. It's hard to know. I'm sure the boys are going to be into all kinds of shenanigans on that day. I got Brad strong off the block, big hitter. And weaknesses is going to be mental game and putting. I know Brad can get down on himself early, and that can change things around from him. Mahoney, I remember he was pretty much all around consistent with it when I played with him. His weakness is probably rust. He's probably been rusty. The bottom list here got Mossy again, natural athlete. When I golfed with Mossy, he was hitting the ball pretty well. He was when he was hitting it, he was striping it, but he was inconsistent. He wasn't always hitting nice shots. I asked Silva today his strengths because I haven't golfed with Silva. He said his strengths is distance. Distance is probably a bit above average. And his weakness is consistency. He's been dealing with a wrist injury that's changed his swing mechanics, and he's still trying to sort that out a bit.
Yep.
Doug, he's got an unorthodox drive, so he loses a lot of distance off of it.
I want to talk about that real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Dougie, when we played at Colonnade, I think he saw something that Graham had been doing. And so it was, first of all, I it was an 8-4 Douglas. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was ridiculous. But he adapted to this new style. And so it'll be interesting to see, Douglas, what swing that you bring to the table, because I'll be honest, I said this to you that day, if you ever were to pressure yourself to be able to change that swing, you'd be with that club head speed that you generate, you really can compress the ball. And that day you brought that. So
I don't know what he's planning to do on tournament day, but one thing I know about Doug is he's going to bring whatever shot is what works for him that day. If he's not confident in the other shot, he's going to use it, and that's really a strength of in his game. He doesn't try and get too fancy. He hits the shots he knows he can hit. For myself, inconsistent off the blocks. I can either crush a ball just with the big hitters, but I'm probably 70% in play, 30% out.
I want to comment on you.
Yeah.
Comment on you, and then you can comment on me. Your game is, you're a bit of a slow starter too, honestly. Yeah. I mean, what I've seen.
Yeah.
But if your drive stays in play, then I think the rest of your game feeds off that.
Yeah.
And I've seen times where here's the bottom line with Dorian's game is you can never count him out because of his distance available off the block. And then once he gets that swing rhythm down, it translates to the rest of the game. So we've played a few times where I'll take a 4-shot lead within the first 5-6 holes, and then and then you've got the lead, and then it's a whole other dynamic.
I think our last couple rounds have been within a stroke. And,
both ways.
Shitty conditions. And I was playing a little bit more earlier in the summer. Yeah. And my game was really rounding out nice. I was in the 90s quite often. Like I was kind of living around the 95 mark. I think I threw up a 94 at where was it? Colonnade. So I was kind of in that realm, and now I've probably lost 6 strokes just from not playing it. But this week I'm hitting the range. I've got a game on Monday. I'll probably get two rounds in next week before the tournament, plus a range session. So hopefully I'm swinging nice. So for you, AJ, I had your issue. Your positive was just absolute consistency off the block, and really consistency across the board with that. I think it's your 3-wood hybrid, or your
hybrid.
Your 3 is your 3 hybrid or a 5?
3 hybrid. It's the weapon.
Yeah. So, I mean, you use that thing pretty much all fucking day. Like, you're off the blocks with it. You're par 3 in with it. You're off the deck with it on, pretty much all your long shots. And it's just super consistent. You found a natural shot with that. It's almost always in play. Is it the longest? No. Is it always in play? Yes. So, if you ask the old guys why they shoot so well, it's because they keep balls in play. So, that's probably your biggest weapon. And your negative would be, the distance, and your short game can be hot and cold. You've kind of tinkered with your numbered irons and your 50s and your 52s, and sometimes they're dialed and sometimes you're duffing. So depending,
I hit there when we golfed at Loyalist.
3. It was 3 for sure. Yeah. So they were dialed that day, and I've seen them where you try and use a new one and you don't have it quite tucked in yet to the right. So we'll see how those go. I got Cody. He was consistent.
Yeah.
Keeping balls in play was kind of a strength of his. They were always in play. And his 50 was great. He's played maybe 1 or 2 rounds of golf in the last month. I don't really know.
Yeah. No, it's great. That's the problem. Is that what do they call that? Ring rust? Course rust?
Yeah. And getting good ball flight. He's always had an issue. So if he's got to go over obstacles or sand traps, he's always had issues with that. Yep. And for Jay, my last on my list here, I have his putting is very good, solid. And this is his words, off the blocks, he's just been inconsistent as shit. So, it's basically a lottery ball. Maybe it hits, maybe it doesn't. Bingo! We'll see what happens.
I just want say, Dorian, Jay, his irons used to be the most consistent, but the last time I golfed with you, Jay, which was a couple years ago, you had the most pure putter roll. The sound was almost non-existent. It was like you had a silencer screwed onto that thing, and the weight was just, it seemed like you really had that dialed. So it'll be interesting to see if you bring that same level of, because that's a weapon in itself. So.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. I don't think it's my mic. It's the I think it's the actual recording itself. So it's kind of it's in and out. I don't know. Anyways, we're kind of over time already, so I want to kind of speed through these last few points. So As always, bring some booze for your bag, but make sure to support the cart girl. Have a couple there. We want these people to like us, have fun, but be respectable. I think we all want a good name, not just for the Tortillas to do it here again, but if one of us wants to have a tournament or a wedding, you just want to be reputable. So be respectful of the course. The big thing, everyone's asking about rules. So here's the easy rules. Play fucking honest and keep the other team you're playing with and your own partner accountable. Like, whatever. We want to see real scores. It's not about, we don't want to see someone shoot fucking 11 under and have some crazy score. Play your balls where it lies. No fluff ups. No gimme putts. No found balls that aren't real. Just be honest with that. So two guys take a shot. The guy whose shot you pick, that ball stays in the ground. I've seen it in the past before where, we're going to use this shot. The guy that took the shot picks his ball up. His partner drops close to the ground, so he's got a good shot, and then the guy replaces his ball. So we're not doing that. Just
play it as it lies. The
first shot that you pick has to be played where it lies. The partner dropping there can drop the ball within a 1 foot radius, 6 inches from the ground. So 6 inches is not you're going to get a good shot off that. It's going to sit nicely on the grass. Yep. Don't improve your lie. So if your partner is 3 inches into the rough and you have 1 foot to drop, don't drop to the fairway. Play your shot from the rough. Yeah. Where are we going here? Yeah, so no gimmies at all. Finish all your putts. Everything is holed out. Balls that go to bound, you follow the line it went out of bounds. So if you hit a ball 250 yards into the woods, you don't get to drive up the fairway 250 and say, well, my ball would probably be vertical to this, which I've seen happen. It's the entry point. So wherever the ball enters the woods and the team that you're playing with can hold you accountable for that, that's where you take your drop. You get one club length, usually a driver, from that location it went out, and you and your partner can both drop from there.
Yeah.
In terms of water, if your ball hits water, you pull it back out directly on the line it went in.
Yeah.
You don't take a vertical drop to the left or the right of the pond. You still need to shoot over water. Okay, we're doing a 9-stroke max. I don't think this really matters with the guys that are playing. I don't see too many 9s getting thrown down. But, how do you feel about that, AJ? I know some guys are going to be like, fuck it. If you shoot a 12, you shoot a 12. It's a tournament. But
listen, I had a GAO handicap when I was a member at Amherstview, and I took many 10s, many 11s because it was early in my career, okay? It doesn't record them. You can put a 100 in a score cell. It drops it to the max allowed from the GAO measurement of that hole and that course. Slope, distance, tee chosen, handicap, that all comes into play. So I've always advocated, you don't put double digits on a scorecard. No one does that unless you're playing for some sort of skins or money. So for us, I don't anticipate it, Dorian, but if you ask my opinion, I think that anything over a 9 is silly.
Yeah.
So
I don't see anyone shooting a 9 in best ball. I mean, I'm one of the bottom golfers, and I've probably put up over 9 twice this year, and I've golfed probably 20 plus rounds. So, and that's on my own with bad rounds. So I don't see it happening with the 2-team best ball. So that's what we're doing, max and 9. Are we going to use the app and keep scores updated in real time, AJ? Or are we going
Yes, that's a good point. Yeah. So what my suggestion was is I found a site, I've registered it, and I'll make sure that the morning of everybody has it. But basically, and I'll post it in the group chat so everybody can check it out beforehand. But this is my suggestion, Dorian, and we didn't even talk about this, but I'll spit it out there. So every team has a scorecard that one partner will monitor, and then the other partner will be putting the score into the app. The app is easy to use. It's you're just clicking a cell and putting your number in, but it gives a live leaderboard. Right. So at any given hole, any team can look at the entire leaderboard and see exactly where you're going. I think that adds another element to the competition this year.
Yeah, I like that. And it kind of gives people, should you shot over the water, that's unlikely. Well, if you're 2 strokes back, you might. So I think that adds some good dynamic. We're already way over time. You and I can't seem to keep anything on track in terms of talking. So we're just about double what I had accounted for. So do you have any last minute tips or
no? I think that get some new gloves, get some new balls. I think everybody should be marking their balls individually, so there's 0 questions. So for me, I'm going to have a blue circle or something like that. So I think that's a good idea. But other than that, I'm looking forward to it to get everybody back together. And, I'm hoping that we crown a new team.
And the one other point we'd say, the guys you're playing with, you're going to play with your partner, but you're also accountable for watching what the other guys are doing. That's how this whole thing works. I'll probably be the last team, and, if someone has an issue with that, there'll be me and my partner will probably be golfing alone. And that's so that I can pick up the closest twos and the longest drives on the way through, keep everything going with that. I'm not going to lie, you guys have all golfed with me. I don't cheat. So AJ's seen me smash many a club head off a rock because I'm trying to take a play I shouldn't be playing. So keep your partners accountable, or the other team accountable. Just kind of, hey, I'm using this ball. It's got my initials on it. Oh yeah, man, no, you should pull that back a bit. I think the line was here. Just do that stuff. But let's have some fun. It's going to be a great day. Hopefully the weather's nice for us. If it's not, whatever. We've played in snow, rain, hail, sleet, fucking everything.
Snowing last year, so
doesn't really matter. So I hope this is good for everyone, enjoyable, and we'll see you guys on September 12th.
Sounds good. Any questions, just post in the group chat or come to us directly. We're happy to help you guys.
And we can figure out rides. If it's easier, everyone can meet either at a carpool or at my house in the morning, and we can sort all the rides out from there. So that's it. Take care, and we'll see you guys in the links.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.